This conference will now be recorded.
Awesome. Everything is set right now. So this is going to be a 2 hours session on AWS Machine Learning Specialty Certification. So in this demo, so we're going to learn about AWS and what is exactly AWS offers in terms of machine learning services, right? And we're going to have a fun demo on AI services on AWS. So here is the game. Okay, you need to stick till end of this webinar. I mean, this is going to be for 2 hours, so you can able to enjoy the demo on AI services. You can learn what AWS offers in terms of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And not only that, if you stay till end of this webinar, you can able to download a free ebooks. That's one thing. And second thing is you can also get a free sample questions on AWS machine learning specialty exam. Okay, so this is only going to happen if you stay till end of this webinar. Okay, so let us get started with our today's session on AWS machine learning specialty. Again, obviously, before we getting started, I want to know my audience, right? I need to know who we have today in the platform, right? I just want to understand you guys. Okay, so let me know how many of you guys are working professionals and how many guys are your students. If you're a student, type me S in a chat window. If you are a working professional, type W in a chat window, so I will know my audience. If I know that, obviously I can able to deliver a quality content today, right? So obviously, like, the messages are now coming in a chat window, and thank you so much for mentioning. So there are a lot of students and there are a lot of working professionals too, right? And obviously, if you are a working professional, tell me if you are in a data science domain. Tell me what's your role right now. If you're working as a data scientist, just mention if you're a data scientist. If you're working as a data engineer, data analyst, IT admin, whatever it is, okay, just mention, throw it in a chat window. Okay, so I can see there are a lot of data engineers and I can see data scientists. Abhishek mentioned he is a data scientist. Okay, I can see DevOps team is here. That's awesome. There are folks from PhD. That's really, really awesome, guys. Okay, let us quickly get started. Okay, so now let us move on through our slides. Okay, so before that, okay, here we go. So let me just quickly switch on my camera. Let's see if you guys can able to take a look of my. Okay, here we go. So hi, yeah, this is Sarath Kumar. So I will be your trainer for this next 2 hour session. Okay. So my name is Sarath Kumar from. So I work for Psitron Technologies. I'm a founder and CEO, obviously. So what we do in Psitron Technologies, we do two things. Obviously, one phase of a company, we are into ed tech. So we do trainings. I mean, so we are a machine learning guys. We are a data science guys, MLOps guys, whatever you want to call in terms of machine learning, data science, let's say. So personally, like I done a lot of trainings. I mean, 60 plus workshops, courses, for example, webinars. I have trained more than 5,000 plus people through webinars, courses, workshops, a lot of stuff. Okay, so we play with AI. That's it. That's a one phase of a company. And another phase of a company, obviously, we work with manufacturing industries, automobile industries. We provide the solutions. Let's say if companies want to onboard into AWS and to deploy their models, want to be built some models on their use cases, we do support them. Okay, so here we go. So let us get started with the today's session. Okay, these are the three things that you need to keep in mind. Okay, this is what exactly the highlights of our entire demo session is going to be. The first thing, what it takes to become a specialist, right? I know that. I can see that in my chat window. There are DevOps people, there are data scientists, I can see there are data engineers, I can see data analysts, and there are newcomers, there are students, right? So what it takes to become a specialist, right? So you might be a data scientist, you might be a data engineer already, you might be getting a decent amount of a salary right now. So one thing we are know that everyone knows that data science jobs are the high paid jobs in the job market. There's no doubt about it. If you don't know, you know that today data science jobs are the high paid jobs in the today's market. Okay, so what happens if you go more further, let's say learning things like cloud platforms like AWS, or maybe other cloud platforms like GCP, or maybe Azure, right? We will talk about those things in detail, right? We'll talk about in the second stuff why AWS machine learning specialty certification. Okay, and third thing, obviously, like how it's going to be shaping yourself, like how it's going to add a plus to your resume, how it's going to add a plus to your career in the future. We're going to take a look of all these things. As I mentioned, stay till end of this webinar. So you can download free ebooks and you can download a free sample questions of AWS ML exam, okay, and more things. Okay, let us get started of our first thing. Okay, let me just quickly disable my camera just to save my bandwidth, so you can able to have a full screen look. Okay, okay, let us get started. Okay, so what it takes to become a specialist, right? So we would like to continue our session just displaying this beautiful picture. Whatever the webinars, the courses that we do, we start with this, okay? So we have a lot of beginners. It will be more fun to getting started with a very small stuff, okay? So I want you guys to observe this beautiful picture that you can see in my screen for 10 seconds, okay? Take a look, observe this picture for 10 seconds. Then I will ask a couple of questions, okay? Go ahead. Okay, I guess you have observed this picture. Obviously, there is nothing much, right, on that picture to observe. You know the things, right? Here is my question, okay? Here is my very simple question. What is this picture is about? Can anyone guess what is this picture is about anyway? Can you able to describe this picture? Go ahead, use the chat. Just put up whatever you like, right? So now we can see we are getting the messages in a chat. Syed is saying it's a park. Monohar is saying it's a park, and someone is saying it's a dog contest. Okay, obviously. So everyone knows what is there in this picture, right? Relaxing time in a park with the pets. No other better description than that. Heyman, good job. Okay, so what is this? Obviously, this is a picture of a park, right? I mean, we can see there are beautiful trees and we can see a path where we can walk and we can see a dog, a different breeds of dog and a dog which is carrying a ball in his mouth, and we can see a man and we can see a woman and a lot of other things, right? Okay, but that's not the exact question. What I like to ask? My question is very simple. How do you know this is a picture of a park in a first time? First time. How do you know this is a dog? How do you know this is a dog? How do you describe it's a dog? How do you describe this is a woman, right? This might be a silly question what I'm asking today, right? You might be questioning me, Sharath, like, are you mad? I know this is a picture of a park and I know this is a picture of a dog, right? So just okay, let's now come to machine learning, data science, whatever we talk, right? So this is nothing but machine learning. Just consider we are a biological machines, right? Just consider this picture. Let's go ahead with this picture, okay? Just consider this picture: a newborn baby less than 1 year old, okay? The baby is just less than 1 year old, okay? What do you know this picture? Let's say we display that previous picture to this particular baby. Can this baby recognizes the same stuff that you recognized right now? Can a baby say, can it say it's a picture of a park? Can it say it's a picture of a woman, a dog? No, not possible. A newborn baby barely could recognize his mother and father. Apart from that, nothing much, obviously, right? So what happens when the person grows, right? He goes to, let's say, a babysitting school, a primary school, right? He will start learning stuff, right? He will start learning from his mother first, from his father. He will learn how to walk, recognizing people's, learning from his books, learning from a teacher, right? We learn in many different ways, right? We consume our data in many different ways, right? We learn through visuals, through our eyes, we learn through our ears, right? We learn through sense, right? And many different ways, right? In many different ways we consume data. Let's say we put up this entire a growth cycle of a human being, right? So we learn each and every day, right? The learning curve exponentially grows up, right? It never falls down, right? So you might go to high school, you might finally get a job, you become a senior citizen, right? So then finally we die, right? We die, right? That's not the topic for today anyway. So but we keep on evolving, we keep on learning, right? So what happens if you learn things, right? Let me tell you one thing. So today you guys are decided to spend your valuable 2 hours with me, right? Believing you will learn something really interesting today, believing this learning, whatever you're learning, going to push your career to the next level in a life, right? So how do you know that? How do you decide that, right? Obviously based on what you have done previously. You can able to take a decisions, you can able to take a futuristic decisions, you can able to predict what happens tomorrow, isn't it? Right? We are the examples of what's machine learning and data science is. So what human beings are doing right now, whatever we have learned, the way that we work, we are trying to teach this dumb machines. That's it, as simple as that. So we want this machines to make those predictions, this machines to take the decisions. That's what we are trying to do. So let me put up a beautiful example here where you can able to get a better idea. Let's say I have a CSV file, right? Let's say I have some document, like let's say it's a CSV, Excel sheet, whatever it is, okay? So what do I have in this particular CSV file? Let's say, for example, let's say in my home, maybe in my office, I will be paying like thousands of electricity bills, okay? So I just want to make a forecast. I want to know, I want control on my electricity bills. So I want to forecast what will be my electricity bills in next 6 months. Okay, so let's say I have a data. Let's say this is my historical data that I collected past 3 years, let's say, right? I collected this data in past 3 years. Let's say I have 30,000 data points. I mean 30,000 rows in that particular CSV file. Okay, so my idea is very simple. I want to teach this data to this machine. So once this machine could able to understand what's happening in the data, so then I will ask this machine to make a forecast. So I want my machine to be forecasting and saying like what will be my electricity bills on first month, second month, third month, and goes on till 6 months, right? So all I'm trying to do is forecasting and asking my machine to take a decision what's going to happen tomorrow, right? In the same way, just imagine, okay, so you want to work on something called computer vision, what we used to call, right? Anything that you want to build on top of images, videos, right? Object detection, scene detections, right? Face recognitions, applications, right? So many things that you might have heard about. So let's say the game is very simple, right? Let's say I want my machine to I want my machine to be learned the difference between an like a cat and a dog, right? Let's say I want to teach my machine pictures of a cat and pictures of a dog, right? So once my machine understands the difference between a cat and a dog, let's say I put up a camera in front of my machine. Okay, this is going to be a camera that I'm going to draw in my screen. This looks like a camera, but it's a camera. So sorry for my drawing over here. Let's say I put up a cat in front of my a camera, right? So once my machine could able to recognize this, it's a camera, it's going to say an output saying I predicted a cat in front of my camera. Or if it is going to predict it's a dog, it's going to say, okay, I found a dog in front of my camera, right? This is what exactly computer vision is all about, right? This is machine learning. It's so simple, right? So what technical definition says, right? A machine learning is nothing but the study of an algorithm and a mathematical model that your computer system uses to progressively improve their performance on a specific task, right? It looks so much complex. Let's throw that away. So machine learning is all about teaching complex mathematical models to your machine. So once that machine understands that complex mathematical models, it could able to make a futuristic predictions. That's it. Yeah, it's over, right? So, but now we will move on to the next advanced level. Okay, so what it takes, right? What it takes to deliver a successful machine learning model in a production, what it takes to deliver a successful model for your customers tomorrow, right? So who are the stakeholders involved? Who are the people who are going to do that, right? So is that a one single person, or do we have 2-3 persons? What is the workflow? How the things work, right? So to build a successful machine learning models, it's not just done by someone called a data scientist. There are many stakeholders involved. Let's say, for example, let us put it like a story. Let's say, for example, there is a business analyst, there's a data analyst. They sit together and decide. They have some huge data where they decide, okay, we could able to add some value with that data by creating a machine learning model, right? So now that data is delivered, let's say, to our data engineer, okay, someone who is going to play with the data. I mean, once the real-time data what we talk about comes with a lot of garbages in it, okay? So I mean, real-time data might be missing with a lot of values and other things. Like our data engineer will sit and prepare and transform the data according to the necessity. So once the data engineer done with this data preparation, what we used to call, right, then this data engineer is going to deliver that data to our next stakeholder, we're going to call as a data scientist, right? So now our data scientist is going to pick the data and he's going to pick an algorithm. Now he's going to create a machine learning model, something called machine learning model, right? So this machine learning model is going to be a final end product, but the job is not over yet, right? So now this machine learning model is going to be delivered to someone called a machine learning engineer. Otherwise, we can call it as an MLOps team, right? Ops team basically, right? So now our ops team is going to take that model and they're going to deploy it in a real-time production environment. Okay, so once the model is deployed, then comes our developers, obviously, right? What we do, right? We create a beautiful web applications, Android applications based on the necessity, like where your customer is going to come and interact with that, right? So this is how the workflow is going to be. This is how the pipelines are going to be, right? So in industry, we used to call it in a different roles. Let's say if you're working on a data, like we call them as a data engineer, then a data scientist who's going to build a model. Then we have an ops team, we call it as MLOps team or a DevOps team as accordingly, right? So let's say if you are doing everything together, right, then like you are the person doing everything, data engineering, let's say model building and model deployment. So in industries, might be called as a full stack data scientist or maybe full stack machine learning engineer. So this is how the things are going to be. So consider that we want to deliver, right, a successful machine learning model, right? So where do we start? Obviously, as I mentioned, we start with the data, right? So the way we consume a data in many different ways, again, in a digital way. So data can be in many different ways, right? It can be a pictures, it can be a CSV files, it can be a JSON, it can be a text, anything, right? So then comes, as I mentioned, a data preparation. This is where, like, data preparation is something like a cooking that we do in a kitchen, right? We put some masalas, we put some ingredients, we remove unnecessary things. Same thing, right? In a real-time data, as I mentioned, which comes with a lot of garbages. Let's say, for example, okay, let's say after completing this webinar, I will be sharing a feedback form for everyone. I want you guys to fill a feedback form. So what I'm going to do with the data that I'm going to collect, let's say I'm going to create a machine learning model to predict. So let's say how many people who have attended my webinar, they're going to attend my course. Let's say I want to create a machine learning model for that, right? So what happens in a reality, let's say I ask a couple of questions in a feedback form. Not everyone is going to fill the form completely. They might, few peoples might miss the few questions because they might not know the answers. Few peoples might forget to fill those options, right? So those things happens. Those things will be taken care, has to be taken care in a data preparation job. So once the data is prepared, then we use an IDEs like, let's say, Jupyter Notebooks, VS Code, and you name it, right? Different kind of IDEs. This is where we put up our code, right? We write a code in Python, maybe R, JavaScript, whatever it is on your necessity, right? So once our code is ready, then we pick up a machine, right? Obviously, we are playing a machine learning game. The game is to take a data and teach a data to a machine, right? You need to have some kind of a machine here, right? Either a CPU based machine or a GPU based machine, right? So here we pick up a machine, then we start training a machine. So once the training is over, then we get something called a model. So then finally we test it with sample data. If your predictions, if your decisions from your machines are really good, if you're satisfied, so then we do register that model to something called model registry. Then we finally deploy it. What is deploying? Deploying is nothing but hosting, right? We know how those websites been hosted, right? Once your website's been hosted, people can come and interact with that, right? Similar to that, deployment is something like we host a machine learning model. So then comes our dear developers who are going to build a beautiful applications where your users can come and interact with that, right? That's how it works. So this is the many different stakeholders involved, and we just talked about, okay, data engineering, data science, ops, all this stuff. But okay, so what are the tools involved in that? Obviously, data engineering uses a different kind of tools to work with data analysis tools, right? Data scientists use different tools. Model deployment processes use different tools, right? What are the things you need to know in order to become a specialist? Let's get started. Okay, we will start from the programming language. A basic things first you need to have in your hand. Obviously, based on your requirement, you might get started with a Python, maybe R, JavaScript, C++, Java, right? Obviously, let's say Python is mostly used. I mean, most workloads runs on Python and R, so getting started with Python really works, right? So then comes the very basic things, right? You need to know about statistics and probability, the basic math, right? To play with your data, right? So we talk about something called mean, median, mode, range, right? So we talk about standard deviation, variance, right? Then we talk about percentiles, moments, right? Then we talk about regression, linear regression, polynomial regressions, right? So, and using tools like matplotlib and Seaborn to visualize your data, right? So those tools, that's a basic necessity, right, to getting started. Then comes the data engineering tools, right? We discussed about data cleaning, right? So there are a lot of different things, a lot of problems that you're going to address when it comes to a data, right? The formatting, missing values, different things. Then we call something called feature engineering, looking for biases and variances, cross validation techniques. We use different techniques to play with data engineering, especially on top of your data. And coming to know, data visualization is very important because you need to understand what kind of a visualization tool to use at what kind of situation, what kind of a tool that you're going to use to see if there is any outliers in your data, whether you're going to use a whisker plots, box plots. So when you're going to use histograms, when are you going to use line graphs, is very important, obviously, right? So this is all our around the data, right? So once we know that, we can use different tools to build a model, right? Obviously, then, and very famously, we call it something called deep learning, right? So what is deep learning? It's not that we go under 50 kilometers deep and we learn, but yeah, something similar to that. So deep learning, when it comes to concepts like deep learning, you might see this kind of a pictures on the internet which looks like circles, right? But what is this really about, right? So let's get started talking about deep learning. Let's again talk about human beings. Okay, so we have a brain, right? We have a brain, right? There's no doubt about it. So in our brains, there is something called a cerebral cortex. Okay, it's a part of a brain. So you can Google it, you will find it. Basically, we know that our brain carries information through electrical signals inside something called neurons, right? So neurons basically which carries the information from one part of a neuron to another part of a neuron as an electrical signal, which is an information. So there are billions of neurons, they are connected together in our brain, which is creating a complex network, right? So our human brains are more powerful than computers. It has very complex networks. So that's how the basement of deep learning been invented. This is how our actually deep learning, I mean, so artificial neural networks, what we used to call, actually works. So which looks exactly like this. So then let's see how our visuals work. I mean, let's say when it comes to computer vision, when we talk about, let's say, how does your machine understands what is there in a picture, what kind of techniques is being used, then we call something called cortical columns. Again, we'll talk about human beings. Let's say we have a, like in our human eye, there is a specific part called cortical columns. Again, those are the neurons over there which carries an information. So this looks like a stack which you can able to see towards my right side of a picture. So there are stacks, there they are organized in a columns. Basically, there are mini columns where are around 100 neurons in it, and similarly there are 100 million mini columns. Imagine these informations will be processed parallelly, something like parallel computing, what's happening. So this is a great example of how your GPUs actually work. So if you're a data scientist, you know that already. This is why we use GPUs, especially when you're working on computer vision based use cases. So then what is this deep neural network or artificial neural network, what we call about, right? So this is all about, okay, so here is our input and here we get our output. So that's all. So let's say, for example, we talk about our electricity data forecasting use case. Let's say I input my voltage and current and my past bills that I generated previously. Here I put on my input data, and here I will generate my forecasting. So what will be my first month forecast, third month, second month, goes on for the next 6 months, right? So then we have hidden layers, and then we used to call it as an activation function. We use something like different activation functions like ReLU, leaky ReLU, depends on a use case, which uses in basically carries the information as a numbers, which we call it as a weights, right? So this is how the complex networks work. But anyways, so there are a lot of different terms we use here, right? We call it as deep learning, then we call artificial intelligence, machine learning. What is this? What's the real deal about that, right? So here comes the definitions. Okay, so what is artificial intelligence according to you, right? So artificial intelligence is nothing but the final end product that you see, right? What is a good example of artificial intelligence? Amazon Alexa, Amazon, then Google Home is there, Apple as Apple Siri. Those are the final end products, right? So so A is the final the product output that you're going to see, right? What your users are basically going to use. So ML, machine learning, what is that? Machine learning is basically a subset of AI. So it's a technique to achieve AI at the end of the day. So deep learning, right? Deep learning is a subset of ML, right? So inclusive of AI, ML, and DL, you get a final end product at the end of the day, right? So that's good. So now let us talk about, let's say you have a data that has to be taught to your machine. So the way your machine learns, what are the different types of ML, right? So where we used to call it as a supervised learning technique, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. These are the three ways where your machine can able to consume a data in many different ways. So let's talk about a supervised learning technique, okay? I have put it in a very simplest form so where it can able to give a better idea for you, okay? Let's take a three different country coins, okay? So obviously we have a Indian rupee coin, which is 1 rupee, and you have a UAE coin, then we have a Liberty coin, right? So each and every coin weighs different weights. So we have Indian rupee coin weighs 5 grams, UAE coin weighs 2 grams, Liberty coin weighs 4 grams, obviously. So the weight of a coin is nothing but a feature, and currency of a coin is going to be a label. So that means if you have a data set where you have both features and labels, so it's going to use a supervised learning techniques, supervised learning algorithms in another way, right? Let's say if your machine is going to predict it's a 5 grams, right? If the prediction is going to say 5 grams, then you know which coin is that. That's a 1 rupee coin, right? Which is this. So this is supervised learning technique. And then comes unsupervised learning technique. So unsupervised learning technique is a technique where you learn with no label data. So you don't provide any label data to your machines, right? So here is a good example. Let's take a cricket as a good example here. So let's say we have an x-axis and y-axis. In x-axis we have wickets, in y-axis we have runs, and we know we have clustered two groups here, bowlers and batsmen, right? So we know based on total number of wickets, we can predict who is that possible bowler is, and total number of runs, we can able to predict who is the batsman is. So basically it's a clustering technique, right? It's a basic clustering technique. We cluster the similar groups into multiple groups that it is possible. So then we have something called reinforcement learning technique, right? So how it works? So reinforcement learning techniques works with two things. One is rewards and negative feedbacks. Let's say, for example, so I put an effort to train my machine to teach that machine to understand the differences between a dogs and cats. That's it, okay? So once my machine has learned, I'm going to test my machine by passing my first input picture, that's a cat, right? But my bloody machine going to make a wrong prediction, it's a dog. So then I need to give a negative feedback to my machine saying it's not actually a dog, it's a cat, right? So my machine is going to learn from that negative feedback. So the next time, if it going to make again going to input a picture of a cat, so then it's going to say it's a cat. So now I'm going to give a reward, right? So it's going to be reward as something like an appreciation that I give, right? So supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning techniques. So basically these are the three different ML types where many different use cases will be revolving around that, right? So here you might be joining from different industries, isn't it? So I can see a lot of data scientists, data engineers, right? You might be working in an agriculture industry, you might be working in a space industries, who knows, right? So wherever you have an access to digital data, right, you can build wonders, right, by building a machine learning models on top of it. So there are different kinds of use cases that you can be able to imagine based on classification, regression, clustering, right? Maybe a fraud detection, email spam detection, image classification, image recognition. So when we talk about use cases like autonomous driving cars, right, gaming, manufacturing, you name it, right? Lot of use cases that we could able to imagine. So that's good. So now let's say you want to begin, right? Let's say you want to get started. What kind of an algorithm that you're going to choose? What kind of an ML framework that you're going to choose? Here is a quick insight, right? So here, when we talk about ML frameworks, there are very famous ML frameworks that are available in the world. So here is a quick survey. So we know that TensorFlow, right? So you might have heard about TensorFlow, which is an ML framework which is maintained by Google, right? So Google holds TensorFlow, they maintain it. So TensorFlow is the hottest algorithm that is available in the market. Most use cases uses TensorFlow for different scenarios. Then we have Keras, PyTorch, Cafe, a lot of other algorithms. Okay, saying that these are some common things that you need to know. But now we will go ahead to the next thing, the second question that we need to ask: why AWS Machine Learning Specialty? What's so much hot about AWS Machine Learning Specialty? Okay, here we go. So let us put up a survey, right? Let's talk about more numbers now. You know that there are different cloud players in the world, isn't it? There is AWS, which stands for Amazon Web Services. Then we know that we have Microsoft Azure, then there is Google, IBM, Alibaba, we can keep on naming it, right? So what is so much special about AWS, right? So here we go. So the reality when it comes to AWS, right? So the more machine learning happens on AWS than anywhere else. Not Microsoft Azure, not Google, but more machine learning on AWS. So if you see, AWS is actually a home for 89% of deep learning projects. Just imagine all the deep learning algorithms that I displayed. It may be TensorFlow, it may be Keras, Apache MXNet, anything that you name it, right? So most popular frameworks, 92% of TensorFlow projects in cloud happens on AWS, even if it is maintained in Google by Google, but most ML jobs of TensorFlow runs on AWS. Now, let's say we talk about the next hottest algorithm, PyTorch. 91% of PyTorch use cases runs on AWS. So here is a quick stats from Statistica. You can able to get this data in the internet. So if you see, this is the market share of AWS and other cloud platforms. If you see, AWS is actually leading. Those are the leaders in cloud industry for more than a decade. So AWS holds almost 33% of a cloud industry, not specific to machine learning overall. So that, what does that mean for you, right? So it's more opportunities. The more companies they use AWS, the more opportunities for us, right, as a data scientist, as a data engineer, right? So then comes Azure and Google Cloud. So this guy leads almost a cloud industry by 180 billion. Okay, so here is the insight for machine learning. Okay, so you don't believe that literally the slide is not enough to display all the different companies, the customers they use machine learning on top of AWS. Tens and thousands of companies they use AWS on top of machine learning. So saying that, that's good, everything is fine, that's hard, right? But now let's talk about the certification programs. Okay, what is so much important about the certification programs? Okay, so if you see, let's say, so you might be existing data engineer, data scientist, right? So you might be aware about this certification programs already. So what is the certification programs? Let's say you can learn about a cloud platforms like AWS machine learning, and you can write an exam and you can get a credibility certificate from AWS. So AWS offers saying that you are a specialist, you are a solution architect, something like that. So let's say, for example, if you want to become a solution architect, right, you will be focusing on something called AWS solution architect, right? If you want to become a developer, you might be focusing on developer certification. So what we are interested today is nothing but AWS machine learning specialty certification program. So what we are discussing today is on a specialist level. It's a most advanced level certification program that is available. So now let us quickly recall what we discussed previously, right? I did described about a story, isn't it? The successful way of building a machine learning model, right, to deliver a machine learning model to a production. So the many different stakeholders who involved, right? Data engineers, data scientists, ops team, all those stuff, right? So we know that the data says that most machine learning happens on cloud, especially on AWS. Then the people who run their workloads on AWS or maybe other cloud platforms, what are the different kind of tools they're going to use? What are the tools that you need to know, right, if you want to become a specialist? Let's get started. So here are the list of tools that you should know to become a specialist. So data engineering in AWS, right? So where do our data stay, right? So we need to have some kind of a storage platform where we put up all our data, right? Let's say we talk about S3 for that scenario. Then we talk about something called AWS Glue, which is an ETL service. What do you mean by ETL again? Let's say, for example, let's talk about the interaction between a data engineer and data scientist. Let's say our data engineer gets the data and our data scientist says, to our data engineer, I need a data in the format of a JSON files, right? So let's say our data engineer gets a data from his customer as a CSV files. Here you need to do some ETL in order to transform the data from CSV file to JSON file, right? We can do it with Glue, for example, right? Otherwise, let's say you're working on a streaming services. I mean, let's say your data is streaming, maybe IoT services that you're working on. Maybe a client is an IoT, you want to work on a streaming services, so you might be focused on something called Amazon Kinesis. Then we have Athena, such other services, different kind of databases that you need to focus on. So where you can able to store your inferences and other things. Serverless services like AWS Lambda, using container services, right? So, and other things, right? So these are the a few data engineering tools that you need to be aware to become a specialist. Then comes our data analysis in AWS. What are the data analysis tools that you need to know, right? So here comes tools. For example, let's say you have a situation where let's say you have a data right, from your customers, but you want to quickly understand the data, need to generate some insights for your business, right, without writing any line of a code. So then we use something called Amazon QuickSight. You might be heard about something called Tableau, right, other data visualization tools. QuickSight is similar to that. You don't need to write any line of a code. Simply bring in your data, just upload it. Rest of the things QuickSight could take care. Even if you don't know what kind of a tool, what kind of a graph that you need to use for visualization, QuickSight can able to take care. That's a beauty. So then comes, not, we are not going to limit ourselves. Obviously, we need to know big data tools like Hadoop, right? Apache Spark, right? Spark streaming and other cores of Apache Spark that you can able to imagine, like MLlab and other things. So management and governance services, obviously we do everything on top of a cloud, monitoring everything end to end, and building the complete machine learning pipeline is very important, right? We use monitoring tools like CloudTrail, CloudWatch to completely monitor everything what's happening in our cloud platform. Integrations with IoT services like AWS Greengrass for edge computing, getting a machine learning inferences on the edge. Security and identity compliances, knowing how to use IAM, right? It's very important. Those are the tools that you might be really need to focus on. Saying that, now we will be more, okay, sorry, like my keypad. Okay, so saying that, now we will be moving on to the very important slide, right? Where the fun is going to be. So this is what exactly we are interested in. So AWS ML stack, right? This is what exactly AWS offers in terms of machine learning and AI. Saying that, so here we could able to categorize this entire AWS ML stack into three categories: AI services, artificial intelligence, what I mean, ML services, machine learning services, frameworks, and infrastructures. What is AI again? We know that AI is a final end product, right? So that's it, as simple as that. So basically AI services in AWS are ready to market services. I mean, usually as a data scientist, we don't build a model from a scratch. That's the game at the end of the day. So AI is something, as I mentioned, it's ready to market services. Simply we use it, we use SDKs from it, we build a final end product. As simple as that. It's so much fun to work. Let's say, for example, if you're interested in computer vision, let's say you don't want to build any computer vision based models for face recognition, you don't need to build a model for object and scene detections. Everything could be taken care by something called Amazon Recognition. It can do face recognition, object and scene detection, and more. I will be showing a demo on top of Amazon Recognition. As I mentioned, you should not leave this webinar till end of this session, so you can able to enjoy the demos, download ebooks, and ask more questions, right? We can have fun. Otherwise, let's say if you're interested in speech, let's say you, then we talk something called Amazon Poly, which can able to convert your text to speech. Okay, have you heard about what is this called? I forget. Yeah. So yeah, literally I forget. So Amazon as Audible. Sorry, yeah, Audible. Yeah, I forget. Audible. Have you heard about Audible, where you can able to listen to books in audio form, like a audio, right? Exactly. So you don't believe you could able to build an alternative for Audible by just by using Amazon Poly? Yes, it is possible. Otherwise, then we have something called Amazon Transcribe. Then otherwise, if you're a guy interested in NLP, like if you want to work on text documents, blah, blah, blah. So here we have, like, let's say you want to work on document processing, you can go with Textract and more search-based services. Otherwise, let's say if you want to build a beautiful customized chatbot and want to deploy it on like your Facebook website, blog, you can able to build a chatbots on Amazon Lex. I will be showing a chatbot that I built. You're going to enjoy this. Stay till end of this webinar. So personalization services, and here comes our favorite that we are discussing for previous few minutes, Amazon forecast. Believe me, like if I had a data right now, let's say for example, like a electricity bill forecasting, without writing any line of a code, I could able to forecast my electricity bills today by using Amazon forecast. Amazon fraud detector for online transaction frauds, etc. Contact lens for customer services. And here we have healthcare related services, industrial AI services. I mean, manufacturing side, let's say if you want to work on a quality analysis, predictive maintenance use cases, anomaly detection. If you're a developer, if you want to ensure the code that you're writing is efficient or not, use machine learning AI, especially AI, to check that, right? So that's about AI. Then comes ML services. This is where we have to spend more time. Machine learning services. We have something called Amazon SageMaker, the world famous ML service that is available. So Amazon SageMaker comes with entire SageMaker Studio ID. Just imagine you can able to stitch up everything that I discussed, stitch up data engineering process, stitch up data analysis, stitch up data scientist, stitch up MLOps teams inside that one, everything in a one single ID. That's how as Amazon SageMaker Studio is. It got everything that you need, right? Feature stores, auto ML, it may be picking up your own algorithms. Amazon SageMaker supports all the algorithms that you talk in the world. Inbuilt algorithms, what we used to call, Amazon has something called inbuilt algorithms. It's Amazon own proprietary algorithms. Amazon SageMaker is integrated with very high level CPUs and GPUs that you could able to use to train your model and for deployment process in a production. And you can able to monitor your entire pipeline end to end, managing and monitoring, taking actions of that, and bringing everything into CI/CD, right? We love that word, right? Bringing everything in a CI/CD. So then comes the frameworks and infrastructures, right? So because if you see, like, Amazon has its own algorithms called inbuilt algorithms, and you could able to bring your own so your own algorithm, ML frameworks. For example, let's say if you want to use TensorFlow, MXNet, PyTorch, Gluon CV, scikit-learn, Keras, you name it, you can bring anything on top of AWS. You could get a pre-trained models, you can come and deploy it on top of Amazon SageMaker. So high level GPUs and CPUs, you will be having an access. Dedicated servers on top of EC2 will be available and more, right? So what is exactly Amazon SageMaker is, right? So as I mentioned, Amazon SageMaker is a studio that is integrated with everything that you need to build a model. But let's talk about what are the usual challenges that we face in model building process, right? Everything is challenging, obviously, right? So starting from labeling a data, collecting and preparing your data, creating a feature stores, checking for biases, visualization in your notebooks, picking up a right algorithm matters always for your use case, right? So training a model, not just training, you need to tune it, right? Like how we tune a radio and how we get the proper radio station, similar to that, we need to tune our models to get a better predictions. Deploying it in a production environment where and again your developers could able to build beautiful applications on top of it. Managing and monitoring is very important, and bringing everything in the CI/CD is very important at the end of the day, right? So I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat window. I love it. I would like to answer every questions during a Q&A. Please stick till end of this webinar. So as I mentioned, SageMaker is a fully managed service. You don't want to, let's say, create a server, maintain a server, patch a server, put a software. No, nothing. Yeah, everything will be taken care by AWS itself. It's a tool that is built for a data scientist and developers like us, where we want to do everything from a scratch, like building, training, and deploying a model in a production. So every challenges could be taken care by Amazon SageMaker. By using Amazon SageMaker, you can able to use Data Wrangler for, let's say, for even for data labeling, you could able to use something called ground truth. For collection and preparation, you could use inbuilt feature store on top of Amazon SageMaker and more. Everything would be taken care by Amazon SageMaker. So this is how the SageMaker console will look. Let me show you in a demo so you'll get a better idea. And obviously, the typical workflow, as I mentioned, it's completely supported by Amazon SageMaker, starting from fetching your data, cleaning it, preparing it, and once the data is prepared, what we do, then we train a model. Once the model is there, then we finally test it. Evaluate it. If everything is good, finally we deploy our model to a production-ready environment. So this is where your actual users comes and interacts with our model, right? They come and input a lot of data, right? So now this data could be again collected back, because you want to create a newest version of that particular model in a future, right? So this is where you're going to plug in your monitoring tools, right? And to collect your data. And again, the data that is collected can be fetched, cleaned, prepared. Again, the cycle goes on. So Amazon SageMaker serves various different industries, not just a forecasting that I'm talking about, starting from predictive maintenance in industries like IoT use cases, manufacturing, demand forecasting, retail, customer goods, manufacturing, fraud detection in online transaction fraud in banks, credit risk predictions in financial services, extract, analyze, and for your data in the documents, you name it, computer vision, autonomous driving, personalized recommendation systems, churn predictions, and more. So Amazon itself an example for machine learning in a scale, isn't it, right? Because just imagine that 4,000 products processed per minute on Amazon.com itself. 1.6 million packages every day, right? Billions of Amazon Alexa interactions every week. And you know that the first aid delivery just already happened on December 7, 2016. We are in 2022 right now, right? So Amazon itself an example of machine learning in a scale. So as I mentioned, Amazon provides a wide variety of algorithms. Let's say what we used to call it as a inbuilt algorithms. Let's say, do you want an algorithm for classification related use cases? They got a bunch, right? Linear learner, XGBoost, K-means, you name it. Working with a text, right? NLP based services like Blazing Text. Regression related algorithms like linear learner algorithm, XGBoost. If you are interested in computer vision, so here we go: image classification algorithm, object detection algorithm, semantic segmentation if you want to work on every segment of the pixel of the data, right? So recommendation system, the very powerful recommendation algorithm, factorization machine, anomaly detection, random cut forest, IP insight, sequence to sequence for sequence translation use cases, topic modeling algorithms, forecasting, so DPR forecasting algorithm, clustering, obviously very old friend, K-means, and feature detection algorithms like PCA, objective vec, and more. So apart from that, as we discussed, you can bring in any ML frameworks that you want inside on top of Amazon SageMaker. And now it's time to discuss about the third thing. How does the jobs really look on top of AWS machine learning, right? So we know that the average salary of machine learning engineers in India start from 18 lakhs per annum. This number would be bit big for you, but this is the actual average number. If you Google it, you'll get the stats accordingly. So the average salary of a data scientist starts from 18 lakhs per annum. And then average salary for a junior data scientist, if you're a beginner looking forward to get started, so 9 lakhs per annum is the average salary, right? In the respective to those companies that I'm displaying here. So if you see like the trend, it's never stopped, right? So actually the trend started picking up from 2009, and still the trend is going up and up and up. There's a huge demand for data scientists, and day by day making ourselves more quality and things happening on a cloud. Learning cloud skills is becoming a mandatory, right? Today if you go and sit in in an interview, there is a question on top of a cloud platform. There's definitely a question about MLOps, right? So people are looking for a skill set, the right skill set. What's happening in a world, what's really working in a world in a first hand, right? So today if you search for jobs in your local area, let's say if you're from Bangalore, let's say you're from Mumbai, just search. There is a one nearby job that is available, and you can check out so how things are exploring, like, right? So it may be Bangalore, it may be if you are from UK, US, you name it, right? It may be United States, right? So there's a lot of data, there's a lot of demand, not just for data scientists, not just for data engineers, like consider that entire stakeholders that we discussed here, right? So that's a huge demand. So here when it comes to AWS machine learning specialty certification, what we are discussing, right? So let's say we're going to learn a lot of different things, right? It's again like a, let's say a complete stack of data engineering, data analysis, and ML that we're going to learn, right? So not like, let's say you will be, let's say once after completing the certification, let's say if you want to work as a data engineer, there you go, you have an option to that. Let's say if you want to work as a data scientist, you have an option to that. Let's say if you want to work as a MLOps team, machine learning engineer, right? You can have a work as a MLOps engineers over there. So it opens a gates in many different roles for you, not just a data scientist. It's so you can check the a quick job analysis. Let's say people are looking for data engineering tools like AWS Glue, creating a data pipelines. People are looking for data streaming services like Kinesis Data Stream. People are looking for SageMaker services, understanding the built-in algorithms, how to use it, and more, right? Saying that, what is next? Obviously to enjoy a demo, right? So now it's time to explore AI in live. So we're going to spend a few more minutes to explore a demo, then we talk about the course and curriculum. Stay till end of this webinar, it's going to be more fun, okay? It's time now. Let me quickly share my screen. Let's get to AWS console and have fun. Here we go. Okay, so this is how your AWS console is going to look. So no worries, if you want to create an account, reach out to us. Let's say if you're going to register for a course, we will be taking care and we'll be helping you how to register for, I mean, how to create an account. Okay, this is how your AWS console will look. If I go to services, let's say if I go to ML services, I can browse all the AI and ML services. The first AI service that we're going to explore, it's called Amazon Recognition. So Amazon Recognition, as the name represents, right, what it is, right? It's basically a platform for computer vision, anything that you want to do on top of images and videos, right? So let's say we go for try demo. The first use case, label detection. Okay, so here we go. The machine has done the job already. It's going to be fun now. So what you can find in this picture anyway? You can see there is a random person skating in a road, right? So my machine has already made a predictions. What happens? Just check it out. If I move my cursor, you know it. It says it's a person, isn't it? So if I move my cursor below that skateboard, it predicts, the machine predicts it's a skateboard. There's a bounding box that represents that object. And if I move my cursor, it says there are cars. And you can see it recognizes a wheel, a tiny wheel which is far away, right? It could also predict the wheels over here, right? So this is about label detection. And you can able to see the results with accuracy towards my right side. And if I hit show more, you'll find all the possible labels. You can see it says it's a car, automobile, vehicle, transportation. So everything as part of a transportation, right? So we got accuracy for that, which says 98, 98, 98, blah, 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 right? So then it says human pedestrian skateboard, 98.3 percentage. There is a skateboard in that particular picture. And you can see sports wheel machine path downtown, and here we go, city urban. So it's not just predicting an object, it also predicts this a scenery. It could describe a scenery, right? Obviously it won't be fun without uploading a picture from my laptop. So I can able to upload my picture from my laptop. Here we go. So I'm going to select this picture. So you can see this is the workstation with lot of objects there. You can see there is a monitor, there is a keypad, there is a lot of circuit boards, right? Let me open that. Here we go. So obviously we got very less bounding boxes. It predicts it's a monitor, computer keypad, laptop, monitor, but you can see in the results, you will see a lot of different labels. Furniture, do you think there is a furniture in the picture? Yes. There is a table? Yes. There is a computer keypad? Yes. Check out the accuracy again. Keypad is there, computer hardware, computer electronics. You can see there's a lot of electronics hardwares. 99.7 desk, laptop, monitor, LCD screens, interior design, indoor. Makes sense, right? Immensely. So this is about label detection. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go on to the next use case, facial analysis. So okay, so let me tell you the story here. I mean, Amazon recognition is being used by many corporates. You don't believe US government is using Amazon recognition. Tell me yes in a chat window if you're from US. I will tell you you are part of Amazon recognition already. Tell me yes if you are from US, then I will tell you how you are part of Amazon recognition. If you see US government is using Amazon recognition for various different scenarios. I mean, let's say we talk about movies, let's talk about action movies, right? Let's say if there is a terrorist in a city which is he is roaming in a different shape. So in a movies we use, like, let's say a face comparison algorithm, basically to check if there is someone in a different shape, right? For similar use cases, yeah, you could able to solve that by using Amazon recognition. Anyway, so here is a facial analysis use case. You can see there's a beautiful woman. She is in a picture. This is all about the face. You can see the bounding box for the face. And if I hit show more, here is the results. Looks like a face, appears to be female. It recognizes a gender. Check out the age range, 25 to 33 years old, not smiling, and appears to be happy, yes. And checking an accuracy, we get more sense. Eyes are open, mouth is open, does not have a mustache, obviously. She doesn't, yeah, does not have a beard, she doesn't, right? So, and let me toggle another picture that I have here. So you can see there's a three faces. I can toggle between any of the faces. Let me pick a picture of a yeah, the kid. Yeah, looks like a face, and it predicts it's a female. I want you guys to check out the age range here. So you can see it says age range 6 to 14. Makes sense, right? So obviously she is between 6 to 14. Obviously, there's no doubt about it. So saying that, so, and rest of the other things, you know, that eyes are open, does not have a mustache, and other possible labels. So saying that, now we will move on to the next use case, celebrity recognition. So we love celebrities, and we love this celebrity, Jeff Bezos, right? The former CEO, now, yeah, is taking care a lot of lot of things with this Blue Origin, yeah, the rocket company. So we know that is a celebrity, so it recognizes it's a Jeff Bezos. We get learn more. If I hit this, it goes to Wikidata where I can learn more about it. So let me upload a celebrity from my laptop. Let's see whether it can able to predict it, right? So here we go. Here is my celebrity. You know this person, obviously. So this is our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, right? So it predicts it's another Modi, it goes to Wikidata, right? This is about celebrity recognition. So let's go to the next use case, the interesting one, the face comparison. This is what I'm talking about. So face comparison use case, right? Let's say just imagine a terrorist in a city where he is in a different face, shape. We're using a face comparison application here to recognize a matching face. So here I have a reference phase and comparison phase. So what we are trying to do, the phase and a reference phase, whether it is there in a comparison phase or not. If there is, if that phase is presented, we get a similarity 99 here, and we know that there are some unmatching phases too, right? Let me toggle a pictures now. You'll get some better clarity. You can see this particular kid, she is there in that kid, but even that phase is not clearly visible in a comparison phase, but our algorithm can do the job, right? So this is about phase comparison. So then we will move on to the next use case, text in image, right? So this use case could able to extract a text from that particular picture. You can see we have a picture of a car and the number plate has been extracted towards the right side, right? Just imagine what you could build from this. Let's say you could able to automate your entire traffic lights in your city in case if it is not automated. Let's say you bring in Amazon text in image algorithm inside that. Let's say the cars, the two-wheelers, the automobiles which is not stopping in a red light, right? So you could able to take a you could able to take a snap, use Amazon text and image, could able to extract a number plate, and you could build a system to automatically find that person, right? Isn't it? You can build wonders on top of it. So this is about Amazon recognition. There's some more demos to be showed. The next the demo that we're going to take a look on Amazon Poly. Let's move on to Amazon Poly now. So what is Poly? As we discussed, it's an AI service which could able to convert your text to speech, right? Just imagine where you can able to build alternative platforms like Audible, right? Here is the Amazon Poly platform. There are two algorithms. One is natural and standard. So natural sounds more like a human being. Okay, that's how the things work. So here is the text and the language that you can select. Let's say I will go with English India. I can select one language. Kajal is a one language. Sorry, the audio. Slang that is available for neural. So here it says, hello, my name is Kajal. I can read any text that you type here. Let's listen to it, right? Okay, here we go.
Hello, my name is Kajal. I can read any text you type here.
Okay, tell me one thing. Does it sound like a mission? Not at all, right? So it sounds like almost a human being, right? So I can choose different language. Let's go with English, Britain. Let me go with Brian.
Hi, my name is Brian. I will read any text you type here.
That's it. That's about Amazon Poly. Isn't it fun, right? So this is how you can able to use Amazon Poly, provides SDKs where you can build wonders on top of it. So I will be showing more demos. I will be showing a demo on chatbot. There's a chatbot that I built, and there is a, so now we have taken a look of Amazon Poly, which is a text to speech. What if there is a platform where it convert a speech to text, right? I will show a demo straight till end of this webinar. So you can download a free ebooks and you could able to enjoy this demo. So now we will get started with our slides, and now we will talk about this actual course what we are talking about, right? So we know that there's a lot of things are happening in our world, right? Lot of things are happening in our world. The amount of speed where we are transforming is tremendous, right? So we know that I always display this particular picture, right? So in let's say we'll pick up an example like how the transformation happened for drones in just 10 years, right? So just imagine before drones, what happened to our news reporters, right? Our movie directors, what they do, right? They pick up a chopper and a cameraman carrying everywhere, right? So this transformation just happened, this process been completely removed with drones, right? So this upgradation just happened in 10 years. Just imagine the way the innovation is happening. It's tremendous, right? So saying that, here we are offering the most powerful certification program, that is AWS Machine Learning Specialty Certification Program. So the complete certification course starting from 5th of November. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be happen for 4 weeks. Probably it can go for 5 weeks because it's a complete 40 hours hands-on session. This is the schedule. So it's going to start from 5th of November, going to end at 27th. It might go till again a next weekend anyway. So the timings are something like this. It's going to be for every Saturday and Sunday. If you check these dates, these are only on Saturday, Sunday. Why Saturday, Sunday? Because there are more working professional students will be available in this particular dates and time zones. So every 4 hours per weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday. So you will be receiving a recordings on every Monday, so you can able to access and do more. So why this particular certification program in the first hand, right? So let's say you are already a data engineer and data scientist, maybe a DevOps team, right? So what this certification going to add a more benefit for you? Because one thing we discussed, what's how the transformation is happening, the more machine learning is happening on AWS. So here is the thing that I want to say. So basically getting the certification, it's going to demonstrate that you have an expertise. There's no doubt about it. So you earn a recognition and visibility directly from AWS, right? So let's say, for example, there is a 3 data scientists, really awesome guys. Let's say they go for an interview. There's a one guy who has the certification, but rest of the 2 doesn't, right? Obviously, the person who holds the certification will be given a priority. There's no doubt about it, right? So the advantage for an employer, right, the company who is going to hire you, so because they can easily identify that you have a skill set on AWS. Obviously, it reduces the risk and cost for them, right? Because you hold a certificate, there's no big problem for them, right? So as I mentioned, all in all, right? So here, as I mentioned, it is not just, this course is not just about, okay, we build a model, right? No, it's not just about data science. It's more than that, as I mentioned, right? So these are the 4 important modules according to AWS standards, machine learning exam guide. So data engineering, there will be a 20% will be a weightage in exams. Exploratory data analysis will be 24%, and modeling, this is where deep learning, building a model, tuning it, all those things we'll discuss, 36%. Machine learning, implementation, operation, deployment, and other things, 20%. So this course, as I mentioned, it's an inclusive of data engineering, data analysis, deep learning, and operations, right? So that's how it works. So what it is covered, I mean, how does this course work, right? Because as I mentioned, so it's a complete hands-on session. So do we cover any real-time projects and implementations in that? Obviously yes. Without that, it's not going to be fun. So there were 5 real-time projects that we're going to build. One real-time pipeline implementation, I mean talking about end-to-end ML implementation integrated with MLOps. There are 30 plus hands-on exercises itself. I mean, just imagine from day 1 to day end, you will be busy with hands-ons. So 5 real-time projects, 1 real-time pipeline implementation project. So 36 hours, usually it's not going to be 36 hours. Usually it's a hands-on session. It might go to probably for 40 hours, what we can say, worst case scenario. Yeah, this is the thing. And let's say you might have some other questions, like I'm a fresher, can I able to get started? Obviously yes, a fresher can able to get started with this course. That's how it is designed. I will tell you why, I will tell you how. Okay, if you see, AWS offers an exam guide saying that this is the thing, right? Exploratory data analysis, modeling, all that stuff. So apart from what AWS offers as a standard, we providing more, right? We always ask for more, right? So this course is designed for getting started with the basics, because we did included basics for that. There will be the first 2 days session just included for refreshing a basics itself. And what is more than that, we offer more. So, and this particular certification program is not inclusive of, let's say, MLOps in a high level. So we do also cover MLOps. We build a complete project on top of it. That's a very important insight. So as I mentioned, the course recordings will be offered. So every weekend, so you'll be having a session. Monday you'll be receiving the recordings, right? So now, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so as I mentioned, yeah, so 40 hours, it's not going to be 36 hours. Okay, so now let us discuss. So what is how, let's say now let us discuss about the price point, which is a very important aspect. So you might be waiting for a long time for that. So now let me tell you the insights, what's happening in the industry in a first hand, what's the market looks as of right now, right? So this is what the actual charges for AWS Machine Learning Specialty. Okay, this is the starting fee. Okay, it's going to start from $399. If you're from US, I understand that. Otherwise, let's say from India, it's going to be starting from 32,000 rupees. That's an average starting price for AWS Machine Learning Specialty. That is MLS C01. That's a code of a examination program. So otherwise, let's say there are institutes, they charge more than this, right? Just consider it's in pounds here, 1495 pounds. It's more than 30,000 rupees. But that's not exactly what we are interested in. So our price is not 30,000, okay, not 1,495 pounds. It's very less than that. This is what our offerings are, okay? But there are more things to know, okay? So we are getting started with very minimal amount, that is just a 15,000 rupees per person. That's in a basic plan. So what is this advanced and advanced plus? Can you give me some more insight on that? Okay, here is a beautiful thing. Okay, and don't end this webinar. There's some more to know. There's a discounts that we are offering. If you still stick end of this webinar, then only you know the discounts and more demos that we are offering and the ebooks that you could download. Okay, few more minutes that you can able to spare. Okay, here is the offerings: basic plan, advanced plan, and advanced plus. Okay, so what you get in basic plan? So all these plans will get an equal opportunity. You will be taking a course, yes, you'll be getting an equal hands-on. There's no doubt about it. So you'll be getting access to recordings, yes, as I mentioned here. So everyone is going to get a recordings. Everyone could able to attend exam preparation session, because this course is focused on, as I mentioned, not just an exam preparation, because once you clear this course, you can able to schedule an exam. You could able to clear that exam, and you will get a credibility certificate from AWS, right? So not just that, because it's more focused on jobs, because giving you the opportunity, as tomorrow you want to be working in a company where you have a sufficient skill set to help your clients, right? So because that's why we are doing a more hands-on in this course. So sample questions will be offered for everyone, and here are the other resources that we are mutually offering for everyone, right? Because it's not just a course for that 40 hours. There's more than that. You could able to download free ebooks that we are offering. You could able to attend all the free webinars that we are offering in the future. Job updates, we'll be updating jobs. I mean, it's a opportunities where companies are looking for the exact skill set like AWS machine learning and more. So resume preparation, where everyone asks for it, obviously, and community support will be always there. Let's say you have some questions and doubts, you can put it in our community. They can able to support you. And here comes a practice test, because AWS machine learning exam is going to be a multiple choice exam, where you're going to have let's say 65 questions in that entire exam. 65 questions. So we do conduct a model exam, otherwise we can call it as a practice exam. So where you will be having a 65 questions where you can able to use it for practicing, which that going to help you to clear that exam. Okay, so this is the basic plan. Okay, so what you get in advanced plan is more important. So not only one practice test that you get a two practice test. That's awesome, right? And here comes the more interesting part. You get a 6 months job support. What do you mean by job support here? You can see right now we have beginners, we have working professionals. You might be new to AWS. Tomorrow you might be so getting started with AWS jobs, right? You'll be working for a client. So you need someone, you need some mentor to support you always, right? So we do this job support. What do we do, right? Obviously we will not code for you. We cannot build your project, because you'll be signing your NDAs. We cannot take your data. Let's say, for example, let's say you want to create a forecasting model for your clients on your AWS. What kind of algorithm that you need to use? Let's say we can suggest, okay, we can go with DPR forecasting. So then let's say for getting started, let's say you need some sample codes to get started, right? We do support that, right? We ensure that you could able to make that job happen. So that's the thing. And here comes an advanced plus plan. Everything in basic and advanced will be covered in advanced plus. So practice test 1, practice test 2, but instead of 6 months job support, you get 12 months of job support, almost for a year, right? So, and not only that, here comes the another thing. You can free retake a live sessions again. I mean, we are doing a batch 7 for this year. So you can, let's say if you're registering for advanced plus, you can take batch 7, plus you can also attend batch 8 for free. That's the details. So very comfortable offerings that we are offering. So according to your needs, let's say basic and advanced plus. Okay, and so let's say if you want to check out this pricing in dollars, here we go. So it starts from $209.99 and 259.99 for advanced and 309.99 for advanced plus. Obviously, right? So this is not enough, right? We always ask for more, right? We always ask for more. So I mentioned something called discount here, right? So here is the offering, here is the opportunity that we're offering, but I'm really sorry because this offer ends tomorrow, because this is the second demo session that we're doing. The first demo session happens on 11th. You did register for demo session on 15 today, but still you have a day to decide, right? That's a more time, right? You have 48 hours time to decide. What is that discount anyway? This ends on 16th. What is that? Here is the thing. So you do register for basic plan. That's it. You do register for basic plan. You get a free upgrade to advanced plan. What do you get in advanced plan? As I mentioned, practice test 1, 2, and 6 months job support. So at 20,000 worth advanced plan, you get in just 15,000 rupees, you save it 5,000 rupees, right? So that's a great deal offer that we can able to offer, but this ends on 16th because we did offer. We're not disclosing this offer today because we disclosed it almost for a week ago on 11th. Yeah, so people are started registering, and again, we don't have a lot of seats that we are offering, but how many seats that we are interested, as I mentioned, it's a 20 participants, that's it, but we are interested inside because it's a more hands-on session. We don't want to mess up with a lot of peoples. We need to take care of each and every individual. That's why we're limiting to 20 peoples only. So this is the offering that we are offering. I hope it is interested. And why do you feel Psitron Technologies is the right peoples to teach you that, right? As I mentioned, this is not the first time what we are doing. This is a batch 7. We are doing it for this year itself, right? And again, so we are a Psitron Technologies. We are from Bangalore, India, and again we are supported by Department of Science and Technologies. We've been incubated in PhD Step Coimbatore. We've been awarded by Nidhi EIR, again Department of Science and Technologies, a best startup award from FKCCI Bangalore from 2018. We've been a part of AWS Activate program, and we've been represented in many international stages on our project, especially data science, IoT, you name it. And how does our participants really feel after completing this course? Is there a participant who completed AWS exam and have got a certificate? Yes, you can check out our customer feedbacks. There are participants completed their examination, AWS Machine Learning Specialty examination. So usually what you can find, like, our participants complete the course and they take at least, like, let's say if you're already a data scientist, data engineer, a minimum of 15 days preparation, then you can able to complete the exam. So we have seen that, and we have seen a worst case scenario, they have taken almost a month and they could able to clear that exam, right? And you could able to see how does our participants really feel comparing with the hands-ons that we provide, the way that we teach, right? I hope you might like the webinar that we have gone through. It's going to be more fun like this, a more interaction like this. During a course, you could able to unmute your mic, you could able to talk, right? And you could ask your questions. There will be live interaction, right? So yeah, so we do a lot of things on top of AWS, MLOps, the MLOps courses and more, right? So you can check it out later. Yeah, so we do a lot of offline sessions before COVID, not right now, but these are the shots of that. Saying this, what is next? I promised I will be giving you a few more demos, right? Before I open a session for Q&A, let me just provide you a few more demos that I promised. Saying that now, okay, so before we providing a demos on that, obviously it's very important to discuss the curriculum that we're offering, right? Isn't it? So here's the PDF. I will be sharing this PDF in few minutes. Here is the interesting part. So we have a truckload of curriculum that we have included here. As I mentioned, it's not just focused on clearing an exam, it's more focused on providing a skill set to satisfy your job requirements. So I'll be sharing this PDF. Give me a sec. Okay, so first we will disclose what is happening in the curriculum. Okay, as I mentioned, because we will be getting started with the refreshing basics, but this basics is not part of the certification program. We have included it for an extra. So as we mentioned, everything, the insights that I provided in the slide will be covered here. We'll be getting started with the Python basics, like Python hands-on, pandas libraries, discussing about statistics and probabilities like data types, mean, mode, median, hands-on on top of it, percentiles, variance and standard deviation. We'll be doing lot of hands-on using matplotlib, seaborn, working on linear regression, different kinds of polynomial regressions. And then comes data engineering basics. This is where we talk about biases, variances, data cleaning techniques, normalization techniques, validation techniques like k-fold cross validation, techniques for imputing missing data, handling outliers, and more. So this is about the basics. So once we're done with this, this is where we'll be getting started with our actual course, data engineering in AWS. So this is where the truckload of things that we're going to learn. So we'll be getting started with S3, let's say, talking about S3, digging deep into S3, uh, talking about the right practices like S3 security and more, talking about Glue, doing lot of hands-on on Glue, like Glue ETL, working on complete streaming servers like Kinesis, right? So Athena, different kind of data stores, data pipelines, step functions, talking and working on top of containers, serverless on top of AWS and more. Data analysis in AWS. So we're going to talk about different kind of tools that you could able to use for data analysis, preparing a data on top of Jupyter notebooks, using QuickSight, hands-on on top of it, discussing about and doing hands-on on big data tools like Hadoop. I mean, on top of EMR, what we used to call in AWS, Elastic MapReduce, discussing about Apache Spark and other security aspects of that. Then comes modeling in AWS. So this is where actually we're going to discuss about deep learning, different kinds of deep learning networks, doing hands-on, different tuning techniques, regularization techniques, regularization parameters, metrics that you could able to use to evaluate your models like precision, recall, and more. Right? Once we are done with that, then we discussed about AI services. If you know, like just we discussed about 2 AI services, right? AWS has got a lot, right? So we're going to discuss about every AI service on top of AWS, and we're going to pick a few AI services which is very popular in the world, where more companies provides an opportunity. We're going to do a hands-on on top of it. And then comes very important part, machine learning and Amazon SageMaker. So this is where we're going to spend more amount of our time. So SageMaker is everything, obviously. So we're going to see how we can able to get started with SageMaker with S3, because all our data stays in S3. We're going to discuss about all the built-in algorithms. These are the list of built-in algorithms, and we're going to pick a specific algorithms, and we're going to build a real-time project, as I mentioned here. Then comes a tuning techniques, model training and tuning techniques, hyperparameter tunings. And here we talk about model deployment part, how to deploy it, how to integrate automatic scaling. And here comes ML frameworks. Let's say getting your own ML frameworks like Apache Spark, TensorFlow, Apache MXNet, Scikit-learn, PyTorch, right? We're going to build a real-time project on top of TensorFlow, which is very hottest algorithm. Something called ground truth we're going to discuss. And here comes machine learning operations MLOps, which is not part of this course, but we're going to discuss a bit of high level things on top of MLOps. And there is a hands-on, the end-to-end hands-on that is included. Okay, so no one includes this in AWS Machine Learning Specialty, but we did include it based on a lot of feedbacks from our participants. Then comes monitoring and watching. This is where we're going to talk about monitoring our model, monitoring everything from end to end, from data preparation to model deployment, right? These are the things. So in this PDF, everything is included. You can check out the pricing plans in both INR and USD. You can check out our, rest of other details, feedbacks and more, okay? So I will share these details right now. Then we will go ahead for the demo, okay? So I will share these details. The first link I have shared is for the registration. The first link is for the course registration. If you click that link, you'll be redirected to something called Townscript. This is where our payment gateway and information is being hosted. You can check the same details over here. If you hit read more, you'll get the details. Read more, you'll get all the pricing details, curriculum over here itself. And you can hit book now, and as we discussed, you'll get all the different prices over here: basic, advanced, and advanced plus. Otherwise, if you're an international participant, you'll be having a label saying international participants for basic, advanced, and advanced plan. You can see we have very few seats left. If seats are getting filled in basic, we cannot provide more. then you have only option to pick an advanced plan. Okay, as I mentioned, you have this offer that ends tomorrow. Buy basic, just get advanced, free upgradation. Okay, so and there's a second link that I provided where you can download a curriculum, the PDF that I provided. And third link is for downloading the free ebooks. As I promised, you can download it from a third link. Okay, don't just go and start downloading ebooks. You can, I will share that link once again. Now we will move on to the demo. Okay, I will provide few more demos and I will open a Q&A so we can discuss. Okay, so the next demo that we're going to have is on Amazon Lex. Obviously we love chatbots, right? If you see, chatbots are everywhere, right? So if you go to an e-commerce website, there's a chatbot that is inviting you. There is a, let's say if you go for any marketing e-commerce website, there's a chatbot that is greeting you, right? So chatbots are everywhere, right? So not just, I'm talking about very simple bot which is going to replace saying that hello, hi, bye. So I'm talking about the real chatbot where it could able to recognizes what you're trying to say and what the chatbot has to replay, right? So here's a chatbot platform which is Amazon Lex. By using Amazon Lex, you could able to build a customized chatbots from a scratch, and you could able to deploy it on Facebook Messenger, websites, blogs, anywhere you want. Okay, so Amazon Lex is actually derived from Amazon Alexa. You know Amazon Alexa, right? So which is actually derived from it. Okay, before we talk about chatbots, let's talk about something to be done before that, right? We need to do some groundwork before we're building a chatbot. Let's say, for example, let's say you want to build a chatbot for a pizza shop. Okay, so what you do, right? You need to understand how the interactions are going to be in between a shopkeeper and a customer, right? Let's say, for example, I am a customer coming to a pizza shop. So let's say how the conversations are going to be. Let's say I'm a customer. I'm going to ask, hello, yeah, I would like to order a pizza, right? Then a shopkeeper might say, saying that, so what kind of a pizza do you like to order, right? Then I might replay saying that, I would like to order a pepperoni pizza with more cheese, right? More onion, blah, 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 something like that, right? So then like a shopkeeper says, so it might take 15 minutes to prepare, please wait. And it's going to cost $25, right? Something like that. So this is how this groundwork has to be done before that, right? Here is the chatbot example. I have built a chatbot for a flower shop already. So this is going to be a flower shop chatbot. So let's say I want to order flowers right now. So, and again, Amazon Lex is more advanced than any chatbot. By using Amazon Lex, not only you can able to interact with text, you can able to interact with an audio also, right? So let me now give a try. I would like to order some flowers. Now I'm going to input the audio.
I didn't understand you. What would you like to do?
Okay, that's good. So it might not recognizes my voice. Okay, let me try once again. I want flowers.
What type of flowers would you like to order?
You can see now we got a replay from Lex saying that what kind of flowers would you like to order? Let me just type rose. So you can see now I inputted an audio, but sorry, now I inputted a text. There is no audio output. If you interact with text, you just get a text. So it says as we don't have rose. We would like to would you like to order a different type of flowers? Our most popular flowers are roses. So I cannot mention it in a singular. Maybe I want to put it in a plural. Let's say I will say roses. So what day you want these roses to be picked up? So I can say, let me just mention a date, 2020, 10/16, that is tomorrow. So you want to be picked up these roses at what time tomorrow? 9 a.m.
Our business hours are from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Can you specify a time during this range?
Okay, my bad. So they're operating from 10 a.m. So I can just type 10 a.m. That's good. Okay. So your roses will be ready to pick up around 10 a.m. tomorrow. It will cost $25. Sounds it's okay? Okay.
Thanks. Your order for roses has been placed and will be ready for pickup by 10 o'clock on October 16th, 2022.
Awesome, right? It would be awesome. Like, I guess it will be really awesome to integrating this chatbot where your customers could able to interact with both text and audio. So a lot of customers already use Amazon Lex for their chatbot, more use cases on medical use case side. So the beauty of AWS, here is the thing. So in order to become a specialist, right? So that's, I mean, it's an ideology where you could able to interact with many AI services. Just imagine you could able to connect both Amazon Poly and Amazon Lex along with some other AI service where you can able to make those things work together, right? That's the real beauty. Saying that, now we will go ahead and we will see one final demo on one AI service. Then we will move on to the so a Q&A. Okay. So I will open a session for Q&A. You can ask every questions, unmute your mic, mention your name, what you're doing, student, a working professional. So then we'll discuss more. Okay. Okay. So here. Okay. So let's go ahead to another AI service, which will be more fun to explore. Yep, let's go to Amazon Transcribe. So we talked about Amazon Poly, which is a text to speech conversion. Here is the AI service which could convert your speech to text. Okay. So here we go. So it's a platform where you could able to transform your audio to text. Okay, let's start streaming. Okay. Okay, I guess it is started streaming. Okay, you can see everything that I talk. It is trying to convert into a text over here. You can see everything that I talk. Okay, so hello, yeah, hi, this is Sarath from Psitron Technologies. Yes, I would like to thank everyone. Obviously, spending almost 8:30. I mean, you have spent almost 1.5 hours with me. Still, we have an half an hour, but yeah, we will still take a few more minutes to discuss, and we will open up a session for Q&A, right? Isn't it awesome? Everything that I talk, it is converting into speech. Obviously, something is getting missed. Maybe a better microphone and better calibration would able to improve this Amazon Transcribe in much more better way. Yeah, that's it. I guess. Yeah, thank you. I guess that's enough, right? Okay, so let me stop streaming. Okay, you can see. Yeah.
Hi, Sarath.
So this is about Amazon Transcribe. Okay, so I will open up a session. Just give me a sec. Okay, so here we go. Yep. So now the session is officially open for Q&A. So go ahead, unmute your mic, mention your name, mention what you're doing. So then you ask your question. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Sarath. Abhishek here. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Yeah. So I am currently working as a data scientist. So I actually just wanted to ask a question about the course. So I think it's mentioned from November 5 to 27. So for 4 weeks, it will be on all the weekends, right? So that means 8 days.
Exactly. So it's going to be on weekends only, Saturday and Sunday, and the timing is something like this. If you're joining from India, your time is going to be 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. That is 4 hours a day. Otherwise, let's say if you're from US, this will be your time zone. Otherwise, if you're from some European country, this will be your time zone. So the dates, these are the tentative dates, that is 5th to 27th. But usually what happens, because it's the complete hands-on session, it might not go always according to our time planning. So it might go for another weekend also. Let's say it might go for 5 weekends. Usually we have seen that it might go for worst case scenario 5 weekends. That means it might go for December ka first weekend also, right? But these are the tentative actual dates. Yeah.
Okay. And when would the exam be conducted after that?
Sorry?
When would the exam be conducted? So
Okay.
the AWS.
Okay, got it. Okay, so here is the thing. This is how things are going to be. So Psitron Technologies is not a person who's going to conduct an exam. Okay, this is an exam that is conducted by AWS. Here is the steps. Okay, step one. You're going to complete this 40 hours hands-on training. Okay. Step 2, you're going to complete exam preparation session. Okay, so exam preparation session will be conducted once after completing the hands-on session. Okay, so what happens next? Exam preparation session is over. Then we will be sharing an access to practice exam based on your plan. Let's say practice exam 1 or practice exam 2 that you can able to take. Okay, step number 4, where you going to schedule exam, because we cannot schedule it because that is something that to be done by yourself. Okay, so scheduling an exam, there are multiple ways. We will discuss that in detail during the exam preparation session itself. Okay, so you can able to schedule exam in your office, you can go to exam center. There are different ways we will be discussing on that one. Okay, so I hope I have answered your question. If it is not, please yeah, mention your question again.
Yeah, thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Awesome, that's good. So in the meantime,
Hello, sir.
others going to ask. Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Abda
Hello.
here. So yeah, this is Abda here. I'm now in UK doing my master's in artificial intelligence.
That's good. Good for
So
you.
yeah, yeah. But the case is that during the weekends I will be in my part-time jobs. So it might be difficult for me to attend the live sessions. So is it
Yep.
possible to go on with the recordings and do the hands-on?
Yep. So here is the thing, because let me tell you the reality. Obviously, like there are working professionals, they will be attending, students, they will be attending. Obviously, they will be missing a session. So for at least 1 or 2 sessions, that is not a problem. So because that's a common scenario. This is how we support them. Okay, because it's not that okay, you attend the session on weekends, we don't support you on a weekdays. No, it won't work like that. Because let's say Saturday, Sunday, you will be attending a session. Every Monday, you will be receiving a recording. Okay, so we will guide you, we will mentor you throughout the weekends also. Let's say you go through the recordings, do hands-on. If you face any difficulties, getting errors, we can able to connect via phone call or maybe again a video conferencing where you can able to help you to debug and resolve that and make you ready for the next weekend. Okay, yes, you can proceed in that way also. Yeah,
Okay, I have another question also. So
please
in
go
the
ahead.
advanced plan, you mentioned that there is a job support for 6 months and for 1 year.
Yep.
So so is it applicable for the India only or for the UK,
Applied
US
for
like that?
It's applied for global. Okay, yeah, it's applied for global,
Okay.
not specific to India. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
see, as I mentioned, job support is something we cannot code and we cannot design your project because you have signed an NDAs, because you cannot disclose your company's data, right? let's say for example let's say for example, let me put up a use case. Let's say for example, your manager or maybe some person has given a task. Let's say where you want to build a computer vision application on top of AWS. Let's say your use cases, you need to put up a camera, you need to analyze the objects in front of a camera, right? So now it is a use case. What are the tools that you're going to use, right? Let's say you have completed this course, you will have some idea to start started, but you need to someone to help you to begin with, right? You need to someone to decide on architecture, right? So then we will tell you, okay, let's say if you're looking for building a computer vision platform where it should be managed, then we will suggest, okay, go with Amazon Recognition. Amazon Recognition supports real-time video streaming service. Along with recognition, you can able to use your S3 to store your uh, video files over there, all the stuff. I mean, we help you to make things happen, right? We share the documentation, we share the sample codes, those things. Yeah. So that's how the things work. It applies global, not only in India. You might be in UAE, or maybe tomorrow, maybe. So in 2024, you might be joining from moon. Who knows? Yeah. So yeah, I'm just kidding. Yes, it's supported global. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Good. So let me know if anyone has a question. You can unmute your mic. You can talk. In the meantime, let me answer the questions in chat window. So someone, Khalif, sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. Please guide me. How can I become a data scientist? I already had a PhD stats. Okay, that's good. So I guess this is a one course where everything is offered. I guess you can get started with AWS Machine Learning Specialty. Yep.
Hi, Shira.
Okay, so Ashok, yeah, please go ahead. Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
My name is Hemant.
Hi, Eamon.
I was working as an academician for six years,
Okay.
and recently I switched my job profession from academician to data science. So now
Good.
I'm working as a big data engineer.
Awesome. That's good. Okay.
So I'm pretty much interested in upskilling myself and knowing plenty of things, which I'm currently
Awesome.
working as data analyst, like analyst job. So I just need
Good.
to move
Okay.
on with AI and also the deployment where I just need to know about various platforms like Linux and also the
Good.
other things. But as
Yep.
you mentioned in advanced or advanced plus course, 6 months
Yep.
job support, is
Yep.
that you will be training us to get a new job, or you will be helping our job, the
Okay.
current job?
So okay. Got it. That's a good question. So the job support is okay. So job support is different, and job updates are different. Okay. So job updates is a place where we will be posting the relevant job opportunities that we get from our community. So we have few connects from, let's say, MNCs and other companies, even startups. We keep on publishing those jobs. The right skill, the exact skill, what you have learned from this course. That's a one thing. Okay. So job support is that is different. Let's say you have a job already and you need a support to make that project happen. So we support you by providing a documentation, helping you resolving the errors, those stuff. Okay. It's not that, okay, so job updates is the one that you're talking about. We update you a job. So what is the current requirement of that company? Let's say particular XYZ company is looking for this role, those things over there. Yeah. So job support is a technical support, let's say, right? A technical support that we give.
So you will be informing us the opportunities where you have so that we can apply for this same and then get the job.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. That is job update. Job update is something common that we provide for all the plans, obviously. So we give an outside the bird's eye view for all the opportunities that are that is available. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Good to hear. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yep. So yes, and Ashok has asked a question. Do AWS provides ID like Azure ID? That's great. I mean, so Azure also has a similar ID. Is you don't believe like SageMaker has got everything inside. So as I mentioned, SageMaker Studio is an inclusive part of everything: data engineering processes, data analysis, complete MLOps tool. I understand. I have seen. I mean, we do Azure based trainings too. Like Azure also has some more user friendly tools, but you can do more customization on top of Amazon SageMaker too. Yeah. And as I mentioned, so again, let's say when we talk about this entire pipeline tools that is offering in the world, let's say when it comes to MLOps, lot of tools are available in the world, right? Starting from, let's say when we talk about SageMaker Studio, there's a lot of open source tools, enterprises tools that are available, right? So if we talk about the famous MLOps tool that is available in the market, that is still again AWS SageMaker. It's leading. There's a few other tools. Yeah. Okay, so Ashok has another question. While opening an AWS account, Visa and debit card is enough or credit card is necessary? That's a good question. Okay, so obviously clouds are always a paid services, and again, let's say if you create an AWS account or maybe Azure or maybe some other AWS, every cloud platform offers a free trial. Okay, so if you create an account in AWS offers 1 year free trial. So that is more than enough in a learning curve for you to learn and explore the entire services inside. Okay, so that is good. So so in order to get this 1 year free trial, obviously you need to add your debit card or a credit card. um, so credit card is not mandate, so debit card itself is works. Okay, so let's say if you're adding any card, if you're in India, they will be charging a 2 INR, that is 2 Indian rupees for verification, and they will reimburse you within 24 hours. Okay, so that is mandate. Go with the debit card itself, that works fine. Okay, saying that Okay, Ayush asked a question. Have you trained a model already? Okay, so if that Ayush, if that is a question relevant to the Amazon recognition or maybe the poly that I provided, that's the difference because it's an AI service. I didn't train a model from a scratch because it's an AI service, market ready service. I could use that, use SDKs, build an application that you want. Okay, so someone asking, is this a no-code platform? I mean, obviously, I mean, Amazon recognition is a no-code platform, and when it comes to, let's say, SageMaker Studio, yeah, I guess I forget. So Amazon SageMaker is a platform where you can do everything from a scratch, starting from building, training, and hosting everything that you can able to do it from Amazon SageMaker console. So this is how the SageMaker console will look. Let me go to the platform. You can take a look. Okay, that's good. So here we go. So this is how the Amazon SageMaker platform will look. So we will start from creating a notebook. I mean, we will start from creating a environment for us to get started, right? So it's a platform runs on top of Jupyter Notebook. So here we create a notebook. We pick a right CPU or GPU, whatever the like hardware that you need to run your workloads, so like that. So otherwise, let's say if you want to get started with the complete end-to-end pipeline, so here we go, the studio integration is there, so you can able to use Amazon SageMaker Studio. Everything is part of that one. Okay, so let me quickly launch a SageMaker Studio. I hope I have a studio active in this location. Okay, not here. Yeah, it's deleted, I guess. Yeah, this is how the UI looks. You will know more in the course. In the meantime, let me try to answer others' question. Someone is asking a question, do you offer a training in your training center? So we do offered before COVID, after COVID, yes, everyone is shifting to an online mode. And again, there is no physical requirement for this course because everything is happening on top of a cloud. And we have seen that, so let's say the amount of time that you're dedicating is more efficient. I mean, when it comes to online, because in a live session, you plan it, okay, this is a 4-hour session every weekend. I need to make my schedule accordingly. You sit for it and you work for it. Yeah, but we are currently not offering offline program for this. And again, it would be hurdle for many different communities that are joining from different countries. So again, the same person asking, do you offer a course on weekdays? No, currently we are not offering on a weekdays. This is just an analytics. Okay, it's very simple. Like everyone is available on weekends, working professional students, research peoples. And again, the proper time zone is the time zone that I referred, 7 to 11 if you're from India. Okay, Ashok is asking, can you show me an MLOps example? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So if you see MLOps example, so if I could able to create a SageMaker Studio, I could able to show you how the platform UI looks. But yeah, maybe literally I might not I might not able to launch a complete pipeline because you know it's a huge process. I need to integrate many stakeholders inside here, right? But anyway, let it open. Let's see, right? So what does it contains an MLOps concepts here, right? That's a good question. Let me go to the curriculum. Let me show you the curriculum once again, so where you can take a look of that one. So I guess closed it. Ah, sorry. Okay, let me just open. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, so here we go. So what do we have in terms of MLOps, right? So these are the concepts. We cover the concepts related to AWS here in this particular course as part of an MLOps. So these are the topics that we will be covering. So what is really MLOps is all about. MLOps motivation in high level. What are the real challenges in our current world, and so what is MLOps compared with DevOps, right? Because DevOps is not going to go away because we will be using DevOps tools, but not just the DevOps tools, but there are more tools to be integrated on top of MLOps, right? Model registries, feature stores, if you're aware about this, model registries, feature stores, what we call about, right? Those things. And we talk about auto ML pipelines versus CI/CD pipelines. How does this end-to-end pipeline looks? Different elements in that. And here comes our end-to-end pipeline. This is the most important part. We use Amazon SageMaker Studio. We pick one use case where we build from starting to ending, starting from let's say data engineering to model building, model registry, creating a different versions of it, maintaining that versions of it, and more. So these are the things that we will be including. Yep. Okay, saying that. Okay, yeah, so sample questions. Yes, we did promise you to sharing a sample questions. The sample questions will be shared via email. The same email that you used to join the meeting, we'll be sharing it via email. You can able to download it. You might receive it in a few days, okay? Either maybe tomorrow or maybe Monday, okay? Because I will be sharing the registration links and course curriculums along with that email itself, okay? No worries, you will receive it.
I have one question.
Yeah, please go ahead. Mention your name
Yeah,
and mention who are you
yeah,
and go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. I spoke earlier. Like I am a student from UK.
Oh, good.
So
Go
the
ahead, please.
question
Yeah.
is, yeah. So as a fresher, I'm just taking this course. So as you mentioned in the while doing the presentation, that the experienced data engineer will take around 15 to 30 days to prepare after finishing the course. He will take
Okay.
around 15 to 30 days to take the actual
Exam.
certification. So what
Yep.
about the students? So how much they need
Yeah.
to spend time
So,
after the course to get
okay,
the
good.
certification?
Okay. So, okay, here's the thing. So the pattern that we have observed, okay. So it's not that, okay, you cannot take an exam after 1 or 2 months or 3 months. You can take an exam whenever it is possible. But what we are seeing a pattern is, let's say if you're an existing data scientist, data engineers, because they're already aware about the tools, okay, but they might not be aware about the tools on AWS. But for them, let's say within a minimum of 15 days of preparation, I mean, let's say once after completing a course, once after taking exam preparation session, let's say you take 15 days again to rewatch, I mean, the entire recordings, and again do practice tests that we have provided, and in next 15 days you can, I mean, after 15 days you can take an exam. For worst case scenario, 30 days would be enough for you to preparing and take an exam. So here is the, because it's an exam, again we need to provide you some, let's say, the smooth surface for you to gain some confidence on top of it, right? So these are the domains that is usually covered: domain 1, domain 2, 3, 4. Data engineering, exploratory data analysis, modeling, and machine learning implementation and operations. Okay, so let's say, for example, for a worst case scenario, let's say you want to clear this, in order to clear this exam, right? So let's say you are really good at data engineering and exploratory data analysis and modeling, but let's say you have no idea on machine learning implementations and operations. Let's say you didn't prepare it, otherwise you don't have an idea. But if you have sufficient knowledge on domain 1, 2, and 3, still you could able to clear the exam without knowing much on domain 4. So that's a worst case scenario, what I'm trying to say. Okay, but still, obviously, once after completing a course and the exam preparation session, you will be definitely having an idea of all the 4 domains. Okay, that's a thing. So, and again, don't get confused. The fees that we are offering, that is only the fees for the course that we are offering. So you will be scheduling your exam with AWS has its own examination fee. They used to call it as examination fee. The examination fee is different. Okay, so here are the informations. Usually there are 3 categories of professionals. They do attend our courses. I mean, 3 kind of peoples. I mean, so the first categories of peoples, there are working professionals. They want to complete this course and they want to take an examination. Okay, and there are second categories of peoples. They want to complete the course first. They might not take exam very immediately. They might take it later. The reason is this: so they might be already working on AWS in their company, but this particular candidate, they might not be having a skill to satisfy the job needs. Okay, that he might be really interested in getting a skill set for a job, so he might take an examination later. And third category of peoples, yeah, so we have students, will be having a research peoples, even a college professors, they do attend our courses, right? So they might not be, again, so they will be taking a course, they will be taking some time to again take an examination later. So these are the 3 categories of peoples, and you need to see where you are standing. So I might say that, okay, obviously, like once after completing this certification, taking an exam will really add a credibility. There is no doubt about it. Okay, you need to see where you are actually standing there. Okay, yeah.
Sharad,
So
one
what
question.
type?
Hi, Harish
Okay,
here.
please go. Hi, Arish. Yes.
Yeah. I'm Harish from Hyderabad. I'm a data engineer. So this
Good.
course, the basic plan, you have offered something, right? So is it for advanced plus or advanced?
I mean,
You
you
have
can
an
check
offer
out my
till
screen.
tomorrow.
Okay. The offer, the discount. Okay. So the discount is pretty much clear. I mean, if you register for basic plan, the basic plan is which is 15,000 rupees. Okay. If
Hmm.
you register for basic plan by tomorrow, tomorrow is the last day. So you'll get a
Hmm.
free upgrade to advanced plan. I mean,
Only
you don't want
advanced.
to pay for advanced plan. You just register for basic plan. That is 15,000 rupees only. You get an advanced plan. I mean, you'll get these opportunities in advanced plan. Practice test, not only practice test 1, practice test 2, and 6 months job support. So this is the offer that ends tomorrow. But yeah.
And the recordings will be available for how many months?
So 1 year.
Is it
Yeah. So you'll be having a sufficient access for 1 year. Yep.
okay? Okay. And the
So, but
course
anyway, you'll be having an
entirely,
access. Yeah. Go ahead.
entire thing will be taught by you or someone else?
So it will be completely on me. Yeah. So
Oh,
usually, in case of any unavailability, there might be another person, but 99% of the time, it will be me.
okay. Okay. Thanks.
Hey, hi Sharad, this is Manohar.
Hi,
Currently, I work
Manohar.
as a data
Yes.
engineer. Yeah, hi. Just I have a quick question. So to ask you that because we this course completely scheduled for 40 hours, right? So just to and like how we can ensure as this program considered as a full stack machine learning developer or like it's just like it helpful for to clear the certification.
Okay. So that's a good question again. So if you see, let's rewind that story again, what we discussed, because uh, a successful machine learning model delivered to your clients is not just by one person. That is not just a
True.
data scientist. Data engineers, data analysis team, there's a data scientist, and ops team is also there, right? Putting everything together, they are actually called as a full stack data scientist or full stack machine learning engineers. You'll see that role usually, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, which kind of a companies they call themselves as a full stack data scientist, full stack machine learning engineers? Usually you'll see this roles in startups usually. A companies where they couldn't afford a separate data engineer, a separate data scientist, they call themselves as a full stack data scientist. So those people do everything: data engineering, data analysis, model building, and model deployment, everything by their own. That's the difference. So as I mentioned, as I disclosed, this course involves everything we discussed about in our curriculum. It's an inclusive of, as I say, data engineering. If you see data engineering in AWS, data analysis, modeling, AI services, I mean ML build, model building, and deployment aspects also what we discussed, machine learning implementation, MLOps, all those stuff. So this
Okay.
literally opens a gateway for you. If you want to work as a data engineer, yes, you can. Data, machine learning engineer, yes, you can. Data scientist, yes, you can. Otherwise, okay, you want to work as a full stack data scientist where you can able to manage everything by yourself, yes, you can. So that's the thing. That's why this is called a specialist level certification program. If you see, when it comes to AWS certifications, this comes under a specialist level. It's an advanced level certification program. There's no doubt about it, because this is the only certification program that AWS has as part of machine learning.
Okay, sure. Yeah, and one more. While we're doing the hands-on,
Yeah.
right? So suppose
Yep.
like the team will have 20 members, and if we got some doubt or something like, so it will be conducted
Yes.
on the weekdays as well, so separate session, or it will be covered in the same day itself.
Okay. So most probably we would like to solve your doubts on the spot, because let's say if it is 20 people, it's not going to be a biggest problem to solve your doubts on the spot. Okay. Let's say, for example, if it is a doubt, we could solve. But let's say if you have an error, something that you are left in a step. Let's say we'll be doing 10 or 20 steps that we'll be doing simultaneously. Let's say you missed some step. Again, most 90% of the time, we would repeat the step for you again. What let's say you're creating some IAM user, let's say you're building some model, some data engineering steps that you have missed, we will like to repeat that during a step. Otherwise, let's say if it has not happened that time, so we would like to spend few more minutes, especially for the peoples who couldn't who got an error in that session itself. I mean, if that time permits you. Let's say if you are from UK, it's going to be from 9 to 11, but it will be good for you can able to spare more minutes. But let's say if you're from India, it will be already 11. You need to go for a bed. You cannot spare. For that necessity, we do ask. Let's say if you have any questions, we can connect in a weekdays anytime that you are available.
Okay.
Yeah, but 90% of the times we would resolve it in a session itself.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And one final question. So
go ahead.
Is apart from the hands-on, like, do you guys provide any assignment for us to complete and before the next session or something like that?
Yeah. So there is a assignments that we will give, especially when it comes to this basics of Python. We do give some assignments. Yes, that is definitely there. So apart from that assignments, let's say for example, we're going to discuss about all these inbuilt algorithms, right? So let me just go to the curriculum. So if you see, these are the inbuilt algorithms that we're going to discuss, right? So each and every algorithm could solve different problems in different industries. And let's say if you want to work on NLP, or let's say if you're a cybersecurity guy, let's say you can able to use something called IP Insight to find an anomaly on your network, right? So literally we cannot build end-to-end projects on every algorithm that we are proposing here, because it's going to take not just 40, it might take 6 months to complete the course. So this is where we provide individual hands-on notebooks for that. So we will share a hands-on guide, the notebook for every algorithm. Okay, blazing text, DPR forecasting, all this stuff. So we suggest you to take that and execute that. And again, this is going to be an optional for you, because cloud platforms are paid services. You can actually literally run everything on top of it, right? So making sure your free trial is met, but we give all the materials for you that you can able to practice.
Okay.
Hi Sharath, Abhishek here. I was the one who asked the first. Yeah. So
please go ahead.
Yeah, one question is, which laptop would you recommend for this course? Like, would you want a dedicated laptop with a GPU or with a dedicated amount of RAM or something?
Awesome. That's a good question. I will suggest you a basic laptop for this. Okay. So the things are very simple, because most amount of your workloads are going to run on AWS. So most of your workloads are going to run on AWS. Let's say for first 2 days session, okay? For first 2 days session, we're going to use your laptop itself, because we're going to run an Anaconda on your platform and run it. I mean, for the basic session. For that, you need your laptop. For that only, like for those 2 days only, we're going to use a workload on your computer. So for that, I mean, we recommend a standard configurations. Even if you have an Intel Pentium with at least a 2 GB RAM would be enough. I guess everyone would right now will have a 4 GB at least, would be enough. You no need any GPUs, no need any GPUs at all, because we are never going to train a model on top of your laptop. I mean, we're going to train for a basic first day, but no need of any GPU, because all the workloads, all the hands-ons will be running on top of AWS only.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. So let me answer one question from a chat window in the meantime that you guys are preparing for another question. So I am a UG student. I don't have much knowledge on a Python. I'm a fit to get the course, or I need to get a grip on Python afterwards, move to the course. Okay, here is the thing. That's a good question. Okay, so this course is not just about Python. I mean, we chose in a day 1 to day end, we won't be just involved in Python coding, because if you see, let me go to the slides. So one thing that I would like to add. So for example, we're going to discuss about all these data engineering tools. Okay. Coming to know how to use S3, you don't need any programming skills. Okay. So obviously for Glue, you need very limited skills. Using streaming services of Kinesis, you don't need any programming skills. Athena, no. Right. Coming to know how to use databases, no. Right. So So again, for data analysis using QuickSight, you don't want to know much programming skills. I mean, what I'm trying to say here, and again for AI services, no need. So what I'm trying to say, it's not that it's not that the entire process here not just involved in Python programming. Yes, but it is. Let's say when it goes to SageMaker, building your own models and deploying. Yes, we need Python programming skills here. But okay, as you mentioned, you are a beginner to Python, right? So can we get started? That's where our getting started refreshing basic session has been involved. So in first 2 days session, we will be covering a Python basics for getting started with this course, right? So, and here comes the more details. Let's say, so in this refreshing basic session would help you to grasp some idea, grasp some grip to get started with this course. There's no doubt about it. And let's say, because this question is something common that is asked by every people. Let's say if you're not, if you want to be better at Python, so we share more practice materials, not inclusive of this course, exclusive of this course, practice materials that you could able to use to improve your Python skills. Okay, that's an extra part that we are providing for people have this situation. That's it.
Hi, Sarath.
Okay, so let me try to answer another question.
Sarath, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can able to hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, Hemant here again. So, what is the price of the certificate?
Okay, for certification exam, right? Okay, let's say, yeah. So AWS, for let's say if you want to take an exam on top of AWS Machine Learning Specialty, this fees is charged by AWS, not by us. We will make it clear. So AWS is going to charge $300. So $300 is the actual fee for AWS Machine Learning Specialty certification course. It varies on different certification program, but most probably for advanced level certification program, it's going to start from $300. So let me answer another question. Ashok asked a question, for starting, how much will be monthly charges for data science work? For one project, estimate how much rupees? Okay, Ashok, if this is a question, let's say if it is on top of AWS, let's say I'm using all the services. Let's say if I'm using a SageMaker, how much I will get a monthly charges, right? If that is a question, I mean, it's not a fixed charge that you can, it is, so AWS works on a business model saying that pay as you go, okay? So for how much amount of data that you consume, how much amount of compute resources that you're going to consume on top of AWS, your bills are going to be accordingly. But no worries, as part of AWS AWS course, what we are offering, mostly all your practices will be covered under AWS free trial. And in case still if you're going to get any bills, we will help you to how you can able to waive that bill off, right? So there's a ways that we can able to help you to do that. Yeah, Sundar asked a question, do we need to pay a separate fee for AWS certificate? Yeah, I guess I have answered this question. So AWS examination fees are different. So $300 is the examination fee, okay? So that's a standard fee. I mean, so, yeah.
And how long is the certificate valid?
So usually it's going to be for 2 to 3 years. I mean, max, I guess it is 3 years. They might change those numbers, but I'm hoping it is max 2 years.
And
2
after
years
taking the course, we can give the exam at any time, right? It's not necessary that we have to give it immediately or after a certain period of time.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You can, because let's say once you say that, okay, my preparation is over, now I want to take an exam, you can take it anytime that you want. So it's not that, okay, once after completing a course, immediately 15 days after that, 30 days after that, you need to take it. No, I'm telling the patterns that we are seeing, our participants, way they take it.
Okay, and we have to register for the exam, we have to pay this $300 separately, right?
Exactly. Okay. Yes. Yes. That will be taken care on AWS portal. So, and if you ask a question, why there is an expiration date for the certifications, very simple thing. Because if you see the technology that you're using today, you might not use tomorrow, right? So there's a more upgradation, especially on the platforms like AWS. You will see an update on a platform every month, most probably, for worst case scenario. I mean, the platforms will be evolving, the technologies will be changing, right? So tomorrow, let's say the time that you've taken a certificate, so after 2 years, so might be industry might using some new stuff. I cannot say that industry is completely changed, but there are new updates and new things that you need to learn, right? So yeah, so you can able to upgrade that as per your wish, right? So I mean, once you have a track, once you are in a track, let's say you get a certificate once, now you are in a track, so you got a experience already, let's say as part of working on AWS. Renewing is completely an option for you. I mean, so obviously like AWS, I mean, data science jobs are high paid jobs, and again, clearing this certification course, the fees amount is not even a matter, what I can say. Yeah, I mean, that's what I am seeing a patterns from users. Okay, so I will answer other questions. Okay, Neeraj has a question. I am from Chennai. Sorry, chemical engineering. I'm sorry. You're from chemical engineering. Is there any opportunity for data science for future scope? I mean, is your question is okay. Is there any opportunities for data science and chemical engineering? I don't know. Like, please, Neeraj, maybe you can ask the question again. Okay, Venkatesh asked a question. I have a 2 years of IT experience. After I was reskilled into big data engineering, I'm in a market. Everyone needs an experienced candidate. If opted to this course and a market need experienced candidates. Okay, so here is the thing. So because you said you are already a big data engineer. Okay, so if you see that skills could be added up, right? So because this particular certification program is an inclusive of big data tools like Hadoop, especially on EMR, right? So here's the most important thing, what we always do, right? Because here the users comes with a different requirements each and every time, right? So because the let's say you might be the person A might be having a different requirement, person B could be having a different requirement, right? So we give different suggestions, a counseling for example, right? So let's say for example we suggest candidates to market themselves in a much more better manner, right? So let's say starting from your resume preparation, optimizing your LinkedIn, for example. Let's say LinkedIn is a great platform to reach your CEOs, managers, and high profiles always, right? We keep on tell them, okay, so make sure you keep updating your LinkedIn platform, whatever you learn, right? Let's say whatever you're learning in this course, whatever you're learning personally in blog, something, keep on putting in, put that, update it in a let's say in LinkedIn. Talk about something. Let's say if you're learning about S3, talk about S3 maybe for a few seconds. If you're shy about displaying your face, just make a video record, screen record on a phone, put it on that. So that's how you can able to build your profile, right? So in my perspective as a data scientist, let's say you should not be in a situation, let's say if you leave a one job, you should not be in a situation searching for another job. A job should be ready in your plates already, right? So that's how the thing should work.
Hi Sharath, Abhishek again. So after we complete this course, you are giving a certificate, right? Like some completion certificate or something?
Yes, obviously. So once after completing a course, you will be getting a course completion certificate from Psitron Technologies. That is there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so okay, I guess I answered a job support. I guess I have answered all the questions. I will spare a few more minutes and maybe a 2 minute. Let me see if anyone has a question. Otherwise,
Hey,
wind up. So I'm going to
Sharath.
say hi.
Hey, this is Bharati from States. So, no, I'm just using my client laptop rather than my personal. I don't have a personal one. So, you said we may need to install a few workloads in our local machine rather than cloud. So, if, I just wanted to check that. So, I'm not sure I can't install all these softwares from the third parties. So,
Okay, got it.
if I want to do any feasibility check or system test, so before registering into that exam, so is there a list of applications that I can check it out?
Okay, awesome. So this is again a common question that we used to get from working professionals. So yeah, so let's say for the first 2 days session. So I mean, um, after 2 days session, most amount of the workloads will be running on AWS. You don't use any local computation. I mean, you don't install any packages. Yes, for the first 2 days session, for day 1 and day 2, so what we do is we install Anaconda. We need to have an Anaconda on top of your laptop, Python, all that stuff. And again, so this basic session, is for the people, especially who want to be getting started with the basics. I mean, let's say if you are already good at basics that we have mentioned in the PDF, I guess that's not going to be a problem for you. But yeah, so but we suggest you to install this Anaconda on top of your laptop and to proceed. But in case if you don't have an Anaconda on top of your laptop, there is a way to figure out that one. So what we do is we tell you to create a notebook on top of SageMaker itself. Okay, so on a whatever you are trying to do on top of your local laptop, you could do it on a Amazon SageMaker itself. Okay, so no worries on that. You don't want to do, if you have that situation, you don't want to use your own client laptop to do that. So you can use Amazon SageMaker itself.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Awesome. So Collins asked a question. Can you assist me to start a free? Okay, Collins. Okay, Collins is here. So if I'm not wrong, Collins is our previous participants of AWS ML certification program. Can we assist me to start a freelancing as a data scientist in a platform as such? Upwork. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of a support that I can able to suggest. So I will tell you, Collins, the same suggestion that I would give you, right? So Upwork or maybe freelancer.com, whatever you have, that's good. Put a profile, but how do you get a clients, right? That's a very important thing, right? So it's all about how you represent yourself, right? Maybe you have a good profile on Upwork, maybe freelancer.com or something, right? Otherwise, do you have a market on platforms like LinkedIn? The same thing. How are you marketing yourself? How are you going to tell you the clients you are capable of doing that, right? Put up a lot of data on LinkedIn. Say that, okay, talk about AWS, talk about data scientists, talk about MLOps, because that's a hottest topic because everyone needs that. So talk about that one. So you could generate a lot of leads on LinkedIn, and you put up a lot of good profiles. Yeah, so on Upwork or maybe freelancing.com. That could have one way to do that. Yeah, that's a one suggestion that I can quickly give you. Yeah. So Ashok asked a question: are you available for full day or only 7 days to 11 weekends? See, here is the thing. So we will be available for you to support. Let's say on weekends you will be having a session, and rest of the weekdays, let's say if you have any errors, let's say if you have any support to be needed, yes, obviously we'll be available to support you. So I don't think so you will be requiring, let's say, the entire 7 week days 24/7. Yeah, but we will be available for you to support you in your available time, let's say. So Radesh, okay, let me answer this final question. So as I mentioned, what is this job support is nothing but it's a technical support that we are providing, Radesh. So it's not that, okay, we can able to build a project for you. It's not about, okay, we will not sit and write a code for you. So what we do is a technical support. The same example that I provide. Let's say you have a task from your team. Let's say you want to build or you want to deploy a model on top of AWS. So it might require different tools, starting from data engineering tools to deployment tools, MLOps tools. You need some architecture, you need some pipeline to be built, right? So we can able to help you support that, sharing a documentation, if necessary, connecting and checking what's happening, right, in your entire workflow, helping wherever it is possible. That is a job support that I am talking about, right? So community support is much different than this. Community support is, okay, so we don't let's say connecting in a video conferencing or maybe getting in a phone call. So community support is, let's say you put up a message in our groups, maybe people can able to answer. If I am available, I would be answering that. That's a community support what we do offer. So Radesh, yes, you will be receiving a today's recordings. And you will be also receiving the links to download free ebooks, again, all those stuff. We'll share it in an email. So I have shared the links again. The first link is for the registration, the second link is for the curriculum, third link for downloading a curriculum, and below I have my contact information shared, my WhatsApp numbers and contact numbers. You could call me anytime that you have. And remember that this offer that I'm talking about, I'm really sorry, this ends tomorrow. So register for basic and you will get a free paid for advance. This ends tomorrow because we did launch this in a 11th of this month itself. But anyway, you have a time. You have enough time to decide, and you have enough time to call me if you have anything. And I would really thank. It's been already like 20 more minutes. I really appreciate your time and thank you so much. I hope today you'll learn something on top of AWS. And if you're trying to become a specialist, to get a to become a specialist and get a high paid job, and this is a course, go ahead and register for it. Thank you and good
Sharath,
night and good morning.
final question.
Yep, please go ahead. Yep.
So the offer ends on EST or only in IST? Is it available for EST as well?
Yeah, you mean the time zones?
Yeah.
Okay, here is the thing. I mean, these are these. I mean, the time zones are. Okay, so here is the test.
No, not about
if
the
you're
training. I'm just asking that offer that ends on tomorrow, right? So will it be so in IST timing or in EST? I'm just asking that. So EST that
okay, that's
16th will end in different time, right? So that's why I'm just asking.
Okay, that's a good question. So it's actually going to be an IST time zone. Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much and good night, good afternoon, good morning, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Have fun, learn more, keep exploring. Thank you. Bye. Yeah.